Hi, Peter Gun Mart TV, and this rifle may look familiar to you if you support the website. It's Bergara's BMR, it's a pure hunting type gun. I reviewed the original 2.2 rimfire gun a few weeks ago, and that's steel barrel, 8 inches long, and apart from that the guns are identical. This is the 17 HMR version. They also do a 2.2 Magnum version, and here the option is for a carbon fibre barrel. The carbon fibre makes it light, makes it surprisingly rigid, and obviously offers a place where you can put a moderator. The interesting thing about these two guns is price-wise they're both incredibly well placed. The 2.2 version steel is about $650, just ballparking here, and this carbon fibre 17 HMR is $750. So you've got £100 difference, and knowing the price of carbon fibre barrels and things, that's not bad, just a one difference. This is the 20-inch version in 17 HMR and 2.2 Magnum. It offers probably 6 ounces less weight, which may not sound like a lot, but I did find with the 18-inch steel 2.2 gun that you could feel the weight up front quite a lot. I mean, it wasn't a heavy rifle, but it wasn't exactly sort of, so well balanced. But this thing, all the weight is back here. There's very little weight up here. So in the shoulder, certainly when you're shooting unsupported, it just feels more stable and easier to use, but that's just the way I feel about it. I've picked 3 rounds, all from Hornaday, because they're the guys that pretty much started HMR. First of all is the non-lead option, the 15.5 grain NTX, which is a funny weight, but I believe that's there because as it's a more solid projectile than a lead cord gun, perhaps pressures in a small bore might be an issue. And what they've done as well, and the velocity on here is not dead on for the 17, but pretty near it. This is the most familiar one. It's the 17 grain VMAX, which we all started with. That's lead cord ballistic tip. That's what I use all the time in my 17 HMR. And if you want a little bit more weight, it's the 20 grain XTP, which is a jacketed hollow point, and again lead cord. Slightly slower, but it carries energy quite well. And it's really down to you what you like. But from what I can make out, when they brought out the 20 grain load, we tried it, and though it worked well, most of us who ran 17s went back to the 17 grain. It just seems the way it is. And all these guns are threaded 1/2x28 UNEF. Moderator wise, the importers, Ruag sent me a Hawkson 17 cal Modi, and Hawkson's unusual. If you see this thing here, it's an adapter, so inside that is a thread 1/2x28 UNEF, and then the outer thread that it locks to the moderator is a common thread. So if you've got a 1/2x20 gun, you can just say, hey, I want a moderator but I want it in 1/2x20, so they'll send you the same top hat adapter but in 1/2x20, and it winds on. We can see this is the finished off end of the barrel. Probably just catch it there. This ring here, it's got a couple holes in it, and that just tensions the whole thing when it's done. So all heavy carbon fibre. It's quite a heavy looking barrel, though the gun doesn't weigh as much as a steel gun. As you can see, there's a marginal free float, not a lot, there's just a little bit there. Stock's one-piece synthetic. Bergara makes some nice stocks. They've got a sort of a spackle type finish, looks good, a little bit of texture, and there's cast-in gripping panels here as well. Scope mount wise, that's a 30 MOA rail. A little bit adventurous for a rimfire, though 17 allows it to push out further, but it is on there, no complaints. As long as your scope doesn't run out of elevation, it's fine. The action is basically a baby Remington 700, as Bergara's full bores are all based on the 700 platform, and it's got the usual push-pull safety catch, and in safe you can still operate the bolt. At the rear is a nice cocked action indicator. The other side, the bolt release. Bolt handle again follows the HMR a little bit. Long, slightly angled back with a nice little cone knob in the end, always good. Comb's a little bit low, and as you'll see when we shoot it, I put a butt bag on just to give me a bit more cheek height. Nice rubber recoil pad, and length of pull is about 13.5, maybe a tad short, but you can live with it. Nice big trigger guard. Long curved medium width blade that's adjustable for weight. This came out of the box about I think £2, so I left it alone, but it's easy to do. And it's got the ambidextrous paddle, which is great. If you watch, mag falls away. That's a 5-rounder, and unlike a lot of companies, this is a 10-rounder, and you get both, which is absolutely great. It's a nice simple little rifle based on a proven action. Obviously it's rimfire, and as I said, at the price of around about $750, it looks pretty good. Mag goes in nicely and locks. Bolt throws nice. Safety's under the hand very easily. So, stand by. You see mags fall away nicely. That's it. Nice little HMR. They all are. Notice I've put this butt bag on as I said I would, because the comb's a bit low. This just gets your head up nicely. Plus, you can put your bits and pieces, spare mag and things in there. It's quite convenient. This one's from Riflecraft, so give them a bell. It's copied off the Eagle butt bag, but it's their own design now, so worth a look. Ammo wise, Hornaday's 15.5 grain NTX was averaging 2,606 feet per second with a standard deviation of 65.5. The 17 grain VMAX was doing 2,576 with an SD of 45.9, and Hornady XPT 20 grain was doing 2,461 with an SD of 64.5. I've noticed with most HMR loads the SD is quite high. Energy, again, quite good. The NTX, which is 15.5, was doing 226 foot-pounds at the muzzle, and at 200 yards it still retained 58 foot-pounds. The VMAX was 250 foot-pounds at the muzzle and 72 at 200, and the XDP, though the slowest load of all, it was generating 269 foot-pounds at the muzzle and 76 at 200. So in some ways, though it's a slightly slower bullet, it's probably got more, carries more energy. Drop, just out of interest, the NTX at 200 dropped 7.94 inches, the VMAX 7.6, and the XTP 8.59 inches. So again, pretty much in ballpark. Okay, groups. Quite surprised here. The NTX, as you can see, that's bloody tight and bloody good. My Ruger shoots about ½ inch, and that outshoots my Ruger. The VMAX and the XDP, there's 3 choice of ammo, say Federal make it, Remington, Winchester, so CCI, there's a good choice out for HMRs. If you get one, go and buy a box of each and have a good fiddle with it, because guns can be fussy. So, what are my final thoughts on the gun? Magazine's brilliant. You get 2, 1.5, 1.10, all including the price. Mag change is easy. Trigger's good, adjustable. Comb's a bit low, so I've fitted this pad here and it just helps a bit, and the length of pull's a bit short. Around $750 for a carbon barrel gun, that's a hell of a good price. Unusually, I think because it's wrapped, the carbon wrap insulates the rifled liner, and the only place the heat can go is really forward into the moderator or backwards. So I found that after about 10 shots that I was getting heat haze on the moddy. Not bad, but but I've never experienced that with my Ruger before, so I just think it's a symptom of the carbon, so it's insulating it. Really no complaints about it. I mean, the NTX shoots best. I wouldn't pick it from past experience, and the 20 grain I've used before, that probably shoot a little bit bigger than mine used to, but again, it's say, get what ammo you can, fiddle with it, and you'll find something you like. Plus, with new guns, you sometimes have to run the barrels in anyway. Okay, that's it. So you have an option: 2.2 long rifle or 2.2 Magnum and 17 HMR, with the options of steel barrel and carbon fibre wrap barrel. So it's down to you really. But as with the BMR in 2.2 long rifle, I was very impressed with it. So if you enjoyed that, tell your friends, comment, support the website. If you want to speak to me about anything, then again, it's pmore.shootingsports@gmail.com, and I'll see you again soon.